Hello everyone, hey love lovers. So Mars is going to be transiting into the Cancer sign tomorrow, the 2nd of April at 10 o'clock at night, right? So it will be entering that zone, which is commonly known as a debilitated point for Mars, because Mars in Cancer is known as, not able to perform to the highest, that it can. And therefore, because of this notion of debilitation, a lot of people tend to misunderstand what it actually implies in terms of our lives, and therefore they start to fear, right? Because it is easy to feel fearful when you don't know, particularly when something sounds like a negative thing, right? But I'd like to just take you out of that fearful zone by telling you what Mars actually feels like when it's in the Cancer sign. Now, when Mars is in Cancer, Mars is in the home here, in the home zone, at the home also of his friend Moon. So Mars here feels comfortable. First of all, Mars is not agitated. It feels comfortable, right? Because this is a familiar zone. It's a home owned by, it's a zodiac sign, or the fourth house itself owned by Moon, right? But in a practical manner, because I like to make things really practical, when you are at home in your house at home, right, you don't feel fearful. You don't feel like there's a thief that is going to come in. You feel comfortable. You take off your shoes. You watch the TV. Yes, you can have some cameras, outside of your house. You can have a dog, safeguarding your home. You can have a security company safeguarding your home. But generally, your mood when you are at your house, you feel comfortable. You feel safe. You generally feel like you can be yourself. You can be your true self, right? So Mars out there, in the society, is known as this macho man, macho guy, this warrior, this man, this kingpin, this boss of the gang, this leader that everyone fears, this fearless person who's going to just fight every battle and win that battle, right? That's how Mars is known to be, particularly when it's in the opposite sign of Capricorn, whereby it feels like, oh my gosh, don't even touch me, I'm going to damage you, right? But now, what is home? What is home? Home is an environment that gives you comfort, where you feel comfortable, right? So who is at home? It's Mama. It's Mama. Mama is at home, right? So Mars in Cancer, or Mars in the fourth house, is not feeling lost. This debilitation state does not make Mars feel lost. Mars does not feel confused here. Mars does not feel incapacitated here. Mars does not feel disabled here. But you know what's happening? Mars is actually it feels rested here. It feels, like it doesn't need to move where there's no need to move, or if there's no need to move, right? Right? You can observe any man most men, the human men, they can be strong out there. They can be leaders of companies. They can be directors. They can be gangsters. They can be so ruthless in the society. But each and every man, when they get home to mama, do you know what happens? They shrink. Men, when they get to mama, they shrink. They become small. They become soft, because at mama's house, they just become mama's boy. Yes, they can be, the boss there, the leader, the president, the fighter, the warrior that everyone is fearful about, everyone is talking about, everyone is revering. But at home, they're just mama's boy. They are just mama's boy. This is where Mars does not need to use his muscle. It can, but it doesn't need to. And it will not. Right? Except, of course, the malefics that are pushing Mars here to use his muscle. But in a general form of Mars in Cancer, it is not going to use its muscle. Do you know what is going to happen? Mars here in Cancer or in the 4th house becomes reactive instead of being proactive. In the opposite sign of Capricorn, Mars is proactive. Mars is taking actions. Mars is leading the actions. Mars is leading the projects, leading the community, controlling everyone, controlling everything in front of it. But when it comes to home, it just becomes a boy. It becomes reactive. It waits for mama to give directions. And so when Mars is in Cancer or in the 4th home, it becomes domesticated to the point that it looks for what to fix in the house. Mama says, my boy, there's these cables that you need to fix. And Mars says, okay, I'm going to fix these cables. Mama says, my boy, I need this room to be painted. And Mars says, okay, mama, I'm going to paint this. It doesn't matter how big they are, this man, how strong they are. When they're at home, they are reacting to mama's needs. So then it means that in your chart, wherever Mars is going to be transiting in terms of this Cancer sign, this is where you need to react to what needs to be fixed. It means that these things that you're going to be doing in this month of April, going to May, with this Mars transit in Cancer, you need to fix the things that have been hanging. You need to pay bills, for example, for Gemini, that have been hanging, which could be related, obviously, to family. And when it comes to your ascendant, like when it comes to the Cancer sign, Cancer ascendant, they know themselves that for them, something must be fixed within themselves. Because Mars here is coming to react to something that has already been broken. It's coming to fix to something that has already been waiting to be fixed, but we've been ignoring it. Remember, Mars is action, right? So when it's in the Cancer sign, because it cannot initiate, because of the rules of this sign, Cancer, it cannot initiate, but it can be reactive. It can be the fixer. It can be the defender, the protector. Right? So basically, for the first 2 weeks of Mars in Cancer, right? When we talk about April, we're focusing on April, right? We're not focusing on the other month. We're just focusing on April. The first 2 weeks of April, Mars in Cancer here, Mars is going to demand you to react or fix or mend, right? Anything that has caused or may cause defeat to you, loss and suffering, because these are the themes that you're going to be facing, right? But at the same time, with the actions that you're going to take, their reactions, rather, you're going to make sure that you rise up again, right? You're going to make mistakes if you make mistakes. You're going to fall if you fall. You're going to break up if you break up. But it is also giving you a chance to fix things again, to mend things again, to defend what needs to be defended, right, in this instance, because Mars in Cancer is like, mama. You know how mama protects her children? That's the energy that's going to be required, that defense mechanism, right? That protective nature, right? But at the same time, there is no aggression needed here. There is no muscle that needs to be raised here, because this is mama's house. This is mama's, comfort. No need to be too aggressed, too passionate in terms of just going for your drive. No, just relax, be at home, be comfortable, take your time, because what would happen is that when a lot of people face defeat and loss, particularly those ascendants who are not necessarily in favor with Mars, then with pursuit and with the reactions and mending and doing all these things that I advise to do, you're going to see a winning stance right, closer to the end of the second week. You're going to feel the renewal that this water of the of the Cancer sign is going to give. You're going to feel the nourishment that this sign gives, the abundance that it gives as well. But first, endure the suffering, endure the defeat, endure the loss, right, with ease, with grace. No aggression needed. No muscle should be lifted higher than it's supposed to, right? And then the 2 weeks thereafter, which is the last 2 weeks of April, in this 2 weeks we're going to be seeing Mars dealing with a lot of scandals. There will be scandals in the relationships. There would be scandals just in the world. There will be these feelings of a rejection, like you feel like your partner is rejecting you and you don't understand where it's coming from. Why are these waters of the sign, why this nourishment is becoming like a poison now, right? This rejection feeling, it's going to be there, right? There would be people losing stuff, like losing something that is valuable to them at this time. So the last 2 weeks of April become a bit troubling in terms of the Mars energy in Cancer, right? So what it means is that you need to find a guidance, like you need to find somebody who can guide you through these 2 weeks, right? You need to be disciplined as well in your behavior. As I said, Cancer, Mars in Cancer, no aggression needed, no muscle that needs to be raised up unless it is a malefic or something like that. So you need somebody who's going to guide you through these scandals, how to go about with this scandal, how to get out of this scandal, how to deal with this scandal. And for some people, it could be scandals of cheating, of infidelity, because the sign of Cancer is a sign that also, promotes, not really promotes, but it also reflects, yes, infidelity. This is a deeper study, that advanced astrology people would understand what I'm talking about. But when we're talking about the Cancer sign, we're also talking about infidelity, and infidelity that is well hidden, that is well covered, and therefore there could be partners that are taken from other partners at this time, or there also could be within the family, whereby a family member goes missing, or somebody that goes missing, or even on TV or wherever in our communities, we just hear about people going missing, kidnappings and all of these things, because this is Mars. Remember, rules these things, rules naturally the violence. And in the last 2 weeks, it's going to be activated towards this thing in this Cancer sign, right? So just make sure you take care of your belongings. That also includes, obviously, take care of the people around you. Give them the nourishment that this Cancer sign is all about. Right? So if it's property, because Cancer is also about property, the 4th house is about property. If it's about property, take care of your property, because in the last 2 weeks of April, people could lose property. There could be people stealing some valuables, so just be careful about those things at that time, right? So that's it for the relationships in terms of Mars. I just want to touch on Chiron, right? Because remember, Chiron is still also in Pisces, and therefore it is quite critical that I talk about it, because it's about to leave Pisces and into Aries, and a lot of things are going to be happening in April due to that Chiron as well. Remember, I've already done the horoscope about April, and I've already dealt with a lot of predictions that are going to be happening in the month of April, and some of those predictions are already coming true. And as you can see, if you open up your social media, you will see there's a lot of talk about sexual perversion scandals that are out there, because I also know that in South Africa there is a huge scandal right now of a school that promoted or is hiding some or that hid some sexual perversion. So we're seeing all of these things, they're coming to light as I predicted, because the thing is that, right, in astrology, as astrology members, some astrology members, they are just commentators, just people who read and then they comment, they make comments on that. Or we also have people who explain, what things mean. So they read something and then they come on YouTube and then they explain it to you, and then we have people like me who are into research and predictions, and we say the things that are going to happen in the future that have already happened, and then we have spiritual enlightened people through astrology, so we have different personalities within the astrology field. We're doing different things or in different ways, right? But the most important part is that we are messengers, right, of the planets. Okay, let me speak for myself. I am a messenger, obviously, of the planets. I say what the planets tell us. I explain that it's going to happen because I see it, and it happens. it happens because a messenger is a messenger, right? It's so funny that I'm also that I'm also a Gemini ascendant, right on point, a messenger. But in any case, you know, when we talk about these things, okay, for me, I don't want to include other people because I don't know how they work or their strategies or, you know, their work methods. But when I speak something, it's because I see it, you know, and it always happens. You know, 99% of the predictions that I make, they come to life, right? So it's unfortunate that these are the topics that are very sensitive, and, you know, people are going through quite a lot of stuff, but when the planets say they're going to happen, they must happen, right? Now, before Chiron moves, so the role of Chiron in this stellium in Pisces is to finalize the healing that needs to be done. I already mentioned in the previous video, which I will link down below, with the horoscope of April, but it will finalize the healing that needs to be done, and it will give a light in terms of, you know, where you're going to go in the next cycle, all right? So this Chiron here is definitely going to be opening up, you know, a passage that is safe for you, for your goals, for your purpose, you know, for your soul, right? So just like heal if you have to heal, and particularly, as I said, for the Aries ascendants, you know, this is going to be definitely required, that healing for you. So, you know, for people who are particularly aspecting or aspected by the 12th house, the healing is there for you, the healing is available for you. The first 2 weeks of April are definitely through the sun, the Mercury, Venus as well, because Venus is a healer, has healing capabilities. Rahu also is a healer, but particularly for Chiron as well. And then when Sun moves out on the 14th rather, into Aries, then that Chiron energy is going to continue with the healing, to opening up your path for the next cycle, right? So don't take that lightly, use it. So whatever I'm going to say now, I'm going to be saying it focusing only on Mars, but, you know, I've already dealt with all the other planets, so this video can be, you know, read together with the last video that I made to form up like a whole picture of how April is going to go about. You know, unfortunately I cannot talk about each planet and what they're gonna do, because then I'm gonna be here forever and you guys are gonna be here forever, and you guys are gonna grow older just listening, you know, to me. And next thing, you know, we're all 100 years old, and and we don't want that, right? So yeah, let's just see what Mars is going to do briefly for each ascendant, right? So for the Aries ascendant, this is your ascendant lord, so for you this is very important, more than even anybody else, right? Because your Mars is going to be in the 4th house. And remember, when we talk about debilitation of a Mars in the 4th house, like I explained, it is not a dire situation, it is just a comfortable position whereby you could be feeling lazy because this is your ascendant lord. What is an ascendant in terms of Aries is your body, your physical body that we can see and touch, right? Of course, touch with consent. But yeah, so Mars in the 4th house, you're going to be feel lazy for sure. You're going to be feeling like, I don't want to work, I don't want to, you know, do a lot of chores, I don't want to do a lot of stuff, right? But when it comes to relationships, it can also be the same, whereby you just want to, you know, feel tended to, you know, by the people within your household. You want them to do the things for you, you know, and then you just react, as I said, when they ask you, oh, can you take out the trash, babe, you know, or when your wife says this, and they go, okay, fine, and you could be forgetting to even do like the basic chores that you have to do. So just make sure that when your spouse or your children or whoever is at your home, they're asking you to do something, you just do it. You know, do not overuse the muscle, like I said, or aggression, like I said. So just do what you need to do, fix what you need to fix, mend what you need to mend. And when they need your protection, then you come forth, then you protect them, you defend, right? That is your role basically in this month in terms of a relationship, because remember, we're always looking at relationships, right? And of course, because now we're talking about Mars, right, we're gonna look at all the aspects, right? So when we talk about the aspect of Mars, the first one, with is the fourth aspect, is going to land in your relationship house directly, which is the seventh house. So here, this is your partner here. What it means is that you need to protect your partner, you need to protect your partner's feelings, you need to defend their stance against other people, right? Because remember, the seventh house is other people, so you need to make sure you are that key of defense, or that wall of defense, you know, and in terms of their opinions as well, because the seventh house of Libra is about, you know, making sure that everybody is heard, right? So with your Mars here, don't overuse the muscle, like I said, don't overuse aggression here. Just, you know, follow the scale of defense, protect. What do you need, babe? Okay, I protect you, I defend you. Who said what, babe? Okay, I protect you, I defend you, right? You react in that way. And of course, like in any other sign, you know, there's the seventh aspect to the 10th house, whereby, you know, you could be also having to deal with, you know, relationships with your authorities or authoritative figures in your life, right, at this time. So maybe it could be your boss at work, but, you know, this is about meeting in the middle, whereby your opinion and his opinion should kind of give, you know, a balanced view. So here we need to sacrifice for sure. There's something that needs to be sacrificed. So it's either, you know, you both agree to disagree, or something like that, to maintain and reserve the relationship, the professional relationship, or the relationship with the public status if you're working for yourself, right? And of course, for the eighth aspect, we are going to obviously you're going to be experiencing some turbulences or sudden changes regarding to your friends, or your even your profits, really, even maybe the money that you make. There could be some changes here. So, you know, it could also be gains, and it could be losses as well, right? And, you know, when you look at transits, you always have to read them according to your chart, because you could be having a placement of Mars already there in the eighth house. So it depends. Are you going to have a loss, or are you going to have a gain? So it depends on your chart, definitely. But changes will be seen in both friendships and organizations, and your salary or income that is coming through here, right? And you could also be choosing to kind of like have some words, you know, with the people that you know, or the people that are closely related to you, and they could also be coming from your spouse's family at this time. So, you know, just make sure everything is balanced. As I said, react, don't, you know, be proactive at this time, due to the Mars being in Cancer, right? And for the Taurus, so Mars is going to be in Cancer in your third house, right? So here for Taurus, Mars becomes, you know, a bit of Challenger, not a challenge, challenger. So what it means for you is that most of the things that you will be saying, they could be self-sabotage, or they could result in a self-sabotage, right? So here your communication could be, not necessarily aggressive, but could be reactive in a way that it makes somebody else aggressive, right? And therefore you maybe lose, connection or trust or something like that, right, with this person, or they don't want to hear what you need to say, what you need to communicate, right, leading up to, self-sabotage. So when you react with your, or in your communication, or with your neighbors, even with your friends, actually, just make sure that it's coming from a place of nourishment, from a place of, wanting to give comfort, wanting to give protection, right? So when you speak something to someone, just make sure it's for their own good, right? And of course, these conflicts are highly indicated, particularly because the fourth aspect of Mars is in your sixth house of conflicts. So this is a house of conflicts generally. And here, you need to just make sure, again, whatever you say or communicate, it does not result into a huge conflict. This is a house owned by Libra, and Libra requires balance. Libra requires, just 50-50, you win, I win. So your communication and is definitely asked by this Mars in Cancer to be a nourishing one, to be a protective one, to be a defensive one that will lead you and anyone that is in your daily routine, or even at your work. You both feel that you win. I win, you win. Where is it coming from? It's coming from what you say, what you communicate, how you communicate it, and with even your friends, all right? You're also going to be using your knowledge here. That is your tool. You're going to be using lots of your knowledge, everything that you've learned. It's a time now to use it in your reactions and in your communications in order to resolve any conflict that will and that should result in everybody winning or feeling like they're winning, right? And what you're going to see mostly is a transformation in how you work and how you respond with your bosses, with your authorities, and the people in your community. Once you follow the nourishment of Mars that is required here, all of these things and losses that you may face, they will lead into a transformed relationship. So yeah. So when it comes to Gemini, this is going to be happening in your second house, right? And the second house is about family, it's about, speech, is about values, right? So here, this Mars here is going to need you to react to anything that is, what's the word? Threatening to your family. Here you're going to be reacting and protecting your family. Even the way you speak, your speech is all about, promoting the protection of your family, the protection of your values, defending your values. Remember, you don't need aggression, you just need nourishment, Cancer. You need nourishing words. This is how you're going to defend your family. You need nourishing speech. This is how you're going to protect your family, right? But at the same time, because this is about money, this is a house of money, and Mars is a spender. Mars cuts, so it could be cutting your bank. But when you do make expenses, remember they must be towards protecting your family. So maybe you pay some bills because one of your family members has to go and have a surgery or something like that. Make sure whichever money that you take out of your pocket, it is towards protecting your family, defending your family, nourishing your family. If you spend your money like that, you will not feel that cut of Mars, because it will be serving this sign of Cancer, which is which is a protection sign, right? So now, of course, when we also expecting, some changes in your relationships, there could be sudden changes because Mars is a card. So there could be sudden changes, loss and gain, with some people. And, just be sure that you don't you don't even use aggression, right? I said muscles should not be raised up. So just use a balance here, because it's facing the 10th house, right? The 8th house, of Capricorn. It just means that you need a lot of work, you need a lot of effort, right? Patience, I said earlier. Patience with this suffering, patience with these losses, patience with all these sudden transformations, right? And at the same time, your tool is that nourishment that you have there, right? And now when we are looking further, we can see that you're going to be dealing with a lot of issues relating to children. So that money that you could be spending there, it could be also going to nourishing your children. Maybe one of your kids is sick and you need to pay money for that, or their school, you need to pay money for that. But because this is a Libra sign balance, it means that if you pay with the intent to nourish, the intent to defend, the intent to protect, then you feel like you won and your kids also win, all right? And when it comes to your creative projects as well, because this is a house of creative projects, so it could be the same thing as well. When you pay something, your money is coming out, your money is cut, you feel like, okay, I win. Is always for my creative project, my creative baby, so to speak, right? So nothing is lost. And then you're going to definitely need to maybe transform your stance in terms of your higher knowledge, your belief systems, so that means you need to learn. There's a learning that you need to do here that is required in order for you to be able to nurture and nourish your family, in a better manner. So take that leap and take that route, right? And you will gain here. And of course, your community or your friends are going to be there with this knowledge to give to you, right? So listen to those advices and communications and stuff, or even social media, could give you an innovative idea of how to go about, right? So when it comes to the Cancer ascendant, now for you, Cancer, the thing is that this is happening on your body, right? It is happening on your body, and in a natural zodiac, the first house is ruled by Mars, right? But for you, it is also because this is a Cancer sign, so Mars is double happy here. Mars is super happy here with you. Mars is more comfortable to be with you and will make you feel lazy. All right, so be careful of that. You may feel a bit of a laziness, but at the same time, because this is Mars and it's on the body, it's requiring you that you don't feel too comfortable on your couch, right? You're going to need to move your body. Like move action, move your body. Your feet, take one foot to the next part, take one part to the part, like move your body, be active with your body, right? But of course, it must be within a comfortable position, within a comfortable zone. Maybe it's within your home. You do 1, 2, 3, 4 stretching, all of that, right? To activate the Mars, because Mars in the body on the ascendant, it wants you to move. Right, but because of the comfort of Cancer, that laziness is there. So Marcia could be feeling a bit conflicted because it's so familiar with the body, the ascendant, but at the same time there's this warmth and comfort that is being given by your zodiac, right? So don't resist the urge to move, to kick a leg, to just make sure you exercise a bit, right? And at the same time, your focus here is going to be obviously yourself, right? Giving energy to yourself, to your goals, to your projects, what you want to do. Focusing on your ideas, restructuring your ideas, nourishing your ideas, giving them life again. And at the same time, you're going to be thinking about your family, and you ought to think about your family and to do everything that you can do to give nourishment to them that will make them and yourself feel like you're winning, like you're both satisfied, right? So don't miss the responsibilities that you need to do within your home or for your family. This is very important. And if somebody asks something from your family, you just give them or you do for them. Your partner is going to be needing some seriousness from you. You on the other side, you're going to be feeling lazy, and your partner is going to be needing some seriousness, but because of this energy that you're going to be exuding due to your Mars, right? So you and your spouse, you could be doing something together. You could be working towards fulfilling your projects or her or his project together. So this is the time to channel that energy of Mars and nourish your work projects, like things that will give you status in this life, things that will give you a go ahead in your professions or in your businesses, right? This energy is to be used like that, right? And at the same time, this is also this Mars energy could be making you want to be explorative in the bedroom, with your spouse, with your partner. And why not go for it? Nourish your needs, your sexual needs with your spouse, through this Mars. It is giving you that energy, that zoom, that vibe, that oomph, to just bond, and explore each other. And you have the energy to be performative. So in the bedroom, you are given the energy to be able to perform and satisfy your marriage or relationship needs in terms of sexuality, right? But obviously at the same time, it also gives you the oomph to gather resources together with your spouse. And as I said, you work on something that will give you status in this life together. Work on a project together that will give you income or job or something. You have that with this Mars. Nourish yourselves. And then when it comes to the Leo ascendant, Mars is going to be in Cancer in your 12th house. And here in the 12th house, Mars for you, it could mean some loss of energy. You could be feeling, even if you want to do something, there's something inhibiting you from performing your full self, right? But in the bedroom you can be passionate, right? It's giving you that energy to be passionate, to show your skills, to show your love to your partner, to your person, right? At the same time, if you are working in the background, like quietly, you can have a lot of things achieved, but don't talk about them, right? Don't talk about them. So if you are working quietly and in the background, yes, your energy can be well used, right? But if you want to do something that will make you shine or be out there in the public, then this is where you could feel like you're losing you're losing energy, you're losing hope or drive, right? So this is the time for you then to just work in the background. If you have plans, work on your plans, gather resources that you need, right? And of course, protect your energy. You need to protect your energy here. You definitely need to protect your energy. So use prayer if you pray. Use whatever strategies that you can to protect your energy. There is a high need for you to protect your energy at this time. Now, there could be obviously some people and enemies that are trying to get at you, trying to challenge you, trying to get you out of your comfort zone. All right, but you just don't use aggression. Like I said, don't use aggression. But what you're going to use here is your status. There is a status that you already have that you're going to use to win any battle that is brought against you. And you're going to use hidden strategies that you're going to think about quietly or in private. And if you are consulting someone, do it quietly. All right? And what else you're going to do is that at your workplace, if relationships are being challenging, because for you, there could be some high challenges in your workplace relationships. So what you need to do is that you need to use like backhand. If there's somebody you can talk to quietly in secret, use that person, and then they're going to help you resolve the issue. Don't be direct at this point. Like, don't go to your colleague that you're fighting with and go like la 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 la. No, go to somebody else. Maybe go to a caretaker within your company, talk to them, and then they solve the issue right at this time, because these workplace issues could also be very damaging for you, right? And you also need to make sure that you don't fight with your partner, because there's a high chance of fighting with your partners right now. And so you need to make sure that you send some sort of positive energies towards your partner as well. It could be difficult, but you could do also nice things in the background for your partner without them knowing. Maybe you buy them a gift and you send it to them, and quietly, and then you just see them smile when they open up that gift, right? Also, there could be some changes that your partner is facing as well, at this time. So, just be aware of that. They could be going through, something that will make them change or be moody. And you could also feel like now your relationship is also affected. You feel like, you're losing your partner at one point, and then you feel like gaining them, losing them, gaining them, right? So those challenges are to be seen, but your tools are in your communication. So you need to use a diplomatic communication right now in the month of April to keep your relationships going. You need to be calm. No need to aggress, because Mars in the Cancer sign does not require aggression. So your emotions here could also feel, you could feel like you bottling up a lot of emotions, like you can't express yourself, which is okay. You could use some techniques like yoga to channel that energy, but at the same time, when you communicate, the communication should not be charged with those aggressive energies of Mars. All right, the diplomacy is required for you to just to hold your relationships both in the workplace and with your spouse. It's quite difficult for you at this time, or it could be difficult for you at this time, but yeah, just make sure you fix those things with diplomacy. All right. Now, when it comes to Virgo, this is going to be happening in your 11th house. All right. So obviously, there could be some strife with one of your friends, and whereby they could feel like you are overbearing, too protective, over defensive. But just make sure that you use that energy to actually protect the friendships that you have, obviously in a calm manner, in a soft manner. Use the Cancer strategies, right, and not the Mars energies, right? No need for aggression, just calm and protectiveness. So protect your relationships, and also you could be required to protect your finances as well, your salary. It could be in the under a threat to be cut. Maybe your boss wants to cut down your salary, or maybe you lose a job, therefore you don't have access to the money that you used to have, right? So you just protect that income, and at the same time you obviously need to protect your children as well. Make sure the relationship that you have with your kids is nicely protected, right? Things are going smoothly there, so you're going to obviously need to use some discipline. There's discipline that needs ways that need to be changed, right? And you need to be able to use that Mars energy in a soft way, in a calm way, in a loving way, to discipline your kids, or to put a structure around them, or even your creative projects, right? At the same time, at your workplace as well, there could be obviously some things, some changes, some transformations, that are also already indicated obviously by your Mars being in the 11th house. So just take those things with calmness, whatever change that has to come with calmness, and do ask your friends to help you. Regarding anything that comes up with your job or against your job. And if you have friends at the workplace, ask them to help you, because with that energy of Mars in Cancer, if your friends could be the key to help you resolve conflicts at the workplace. All right. And lastly, your speech, the way you speak, it must be calm, it must be balanced. At all times, you must appear as diplomatic and fair, somebody who wants to see fairness. That's how you're going to sound like, when you speak, through, the usage of that Mars, right? So when it comes to the Libra sign, here for you, Libra, what's happening now is that within the society or your work, the relationships could be challenging, all right? But what you need to do is to realize that there is some defense mechanism that needs to be used here, right? So maybe you want to protect your image, maybe you want to protect your public status or your job, right? And somebody is trying to cut it out, to cut you off from it. And therefore you're going to use some warm ways to deal with this, right? And you could feel like even you yourself, your body is being put or placed in a compromising position, this month due to this Mars here. So what you need to do is you need to look for someone, your partner. There must be someone that is going to be with you, or that is going to work with you, or that is going to deal with the problems that you're going to face. All right, you need to have someone this month. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be your lover, but rely on that person at this time, because they're the key to balancing you out and make sure that you can deal with these things, and they can also give you the nourishment that you need at this time, right? So what's also seen from this Mars angle here is that your home could also be, requiring you to take it like a safe place, like a place whereby you can also do your work, right? So if you don't feel at peace, in the office, like take your home as a place that I can do my work here. I can work, I'm not used to working from home, but I can do it, right? So you can also take those alternative using that Mars energy here to work for you. If you can't have work done or accomplished at the office because of office politics, just be like, okay, when I get home, I can take out an hour and I do my work, right? But I do see some strict changes coming through your household, and you might need to fix some things at your home. So it could be anything, right? But you would need to fix that, or even the structures on how you work within your home, that will also need to be dealt with, right? Also, some changes relating to your creative projects, or maybe you need to reschedule some of your kids' activities at this time, and maybe cut out some activities at this time, so there could be those sudden changes regarding the kids area. So just make sure that you have your friends help you. Like as I said, for you this month, you need to rely on your friends a lot, and they're gonna help you, even with the kids. The thing of the kids, your friends could also be your answer, or that nourishing vessel for you, right? And for the Scorpio, this is going to be happening in your 9th house, right? So there could be some talks, some serious talks that you need to have with your father or fatherly figures, right? Or maybe where you have to take care of the father, or them take care of you, vice versa, because this is your ascendant lord, right? And at the same time, you could also be traveling. Actually, for you, travel this month is highly indicated. So just make sure that it's going to be protecting you or your family or the people that you like around you. And just open up your mind as well when you're traveling. At the same time, you also need to make sure that the communications that you do have are not too restrictive into your journey. So there's some information that you would need to give, right? Make sure that you're not too secretive about it whilst you are traveling, right? Protect yourself at the same time. So don't give too much information, but don't restrict too much as well, because it may hinder the travels that you have to take. And within your home, definitely changes there. As I said, maybe you're traveling. As for you, travel this month is highly indicated. Traveling could also mean just within your city. Maybe you used to getting out of the house 3 times, and now you have to get out of the house 5 times. So even the structure at your home, there could be some changes there. So take care of the relationships actually within your home. Just get closer to the people at your house, and make sure the arguments that could arise are resolved as well. As sudden as they will come, make sure they also resolve. Now the people that are good at advising could help you resolve these home issues, right? So you do need what else, and lastly, you do need to find solace and comfort in your prayer or in your spirituality. If you're traveling, make sure you pray before you go on your way. You pray, just get in touch with your spirituality at this time. This is how you're going to nourish your body. through your spirituality, and as well use secret sources as well, even secret income as well. It could also be your tool at this month. You could be tempted to have a secret relationship at this time, so just be aware that it's making everyone wins, no one loses, right? So yeah. And for you Sagittarius, all right, this is happening in your 8th house. Now for Sagittarius with Mars in the 8th house, I'm expecting some good intimacy here, whereby you are passionate with your partner, whereby you're just loving on each other, passion, going all out, just with comfort and familiarity. This is what I'm seeing here. So even with the energy to amass wealth together or resources together, you have that energy now to gather resources. So use your projects with your partner to bring you money, to bring you gains. At this time, you have that energy of Mars giving you that strength, and your partner could also be another person that is helping you bring a lot of money as well into your bank. So there could be some words, strict words or harsh words that are spoken at the same time here, but they are actually spoken to fix something or to put a structure or discipline, right? Because remember, when I started, I said this is going to be about discipline. You need to discipline yourself and all of those things. Be patient. So whatever is going to be said here, it is actually trying to put a structure that is going to help your family environment or you and your partner. So those words could be tough, but they coming to give that foundation, that solid foundation. So just take care of that, or remember that rather, right? I do see some problems with some of the friends, so there could be some accusations coming or something regarding the friends, or you don't trust a certain friend, or you find a certain friend annoying due to their actions right at this time. But to remember, you always need to use that nourishing vibe and energy to harness those friendships as well. Or you could also be paying some money here towards a friend. Maybe you buy a gift, or they buy a gift for you, or you receive something from a friend and then you still find it annoying. There's some annoyance that you may find. So just make sure that you're warm about it. You're not aggressive. Even if they give you a gift that you don't necessarily care for, like, don't be blunt. You can just be nice and say, okay, thank you, or whatever, right? Just make sure that you win and your friends win at the same time, right? Now I do see that you could be attempting to change how you communicate. Maybe after you hear this this video, you start to be a bit kind with your friends, or you change how you speak, or but be careful with that Mars energy. You could come off as aggressive, right? So just make sure that you don't lose some friends, right? Because there's that threat of some contention with friends here. So just make sure those relationships are taken care of, and you are using the Mars energy, but influenced by the Cancer, a sign of protecting, defensive, calmness, nourishing, right? To gain or to attain or to maintain as well those relationships, or any relationship that you want, right? So now when it comes to the Capricorn ascendant, it's going to be in your 7th house of relationships. So definitely some problems here for you. Like, the problems are coming, and they're coming into a relationship between you and your spouse, right? Now it's your spouse who's going to be experiencing a lot of this Mars energy more than you, but of course it's reflected towards you. They could be feeling frustrated, because of what you did, or how you do things, or whatever, right? Or they could be bringing up the contention themselves. So here you need to nourish your partner, of course, protect your partner. You need to make sure that whatever argument that you have and you're gonna have, it's bringing in transformations that are needed, and not transformations that are abusive, or transformations that are harmful, right? Just make sure that even if you are deciding to break up right now, or you're deciding to break up with your partner, right, it is done in a respectful manner, and you say, maybe you stay, you choose to be friends, right? But I do see that you and your partner could be spending quite a lot of money as well at this time. So, or your partner mostly is going to be spending quite a lot of money, of your money, or you're paying a lot of stuff for your partner at this time. So just make sure that it is done in order to give some nourishment towards the relationship, and to uplift the relationship, opening a new path for the relationship, right? You could also use a lot of you could work a lot at this time. Maybe you want to distress, so it's good. You can find a project that you want to do, just to make sure that you take your head off these contentions that this Mars could be coming in with. But I do see that your profession or your career really gives you that balance that you're looking for. So you could be running to your office, and just make sure you work and you avoid the arguments at this time, right? And I do feel like, I do see that you could also be finding some comfort from maybe your boss, or somebody within your vicinity. So they could be giving you some comfort here, some perspectives that make you see things in a better way, or in a fair way, right? So yeah, just use that or utilize that for now and this time, right? And then for the Aquarius, it's going to be in your 6th house, right, of Cancer. Here there is some nourishment that you need to give in order to avoid some contention in your workplace. There could be trouble with your colleagues here. Maybe they say words that you don't like. They accuse you of something that you didn't do. They say you did it, or you accuse them, right? So there could be this contention in the workplace with your relationship. So, but remember, the Cancer is about nourishing. So be calm, say words in a way that is assertive, but at the same time that is maintaining the relationship that you have with them, right? You could also be required at this time to travel a bit, maybe to see your partner, right? So maybe your partner is maybe the one that is traveling, and you have to meet somewhere. So that is another way to make sure you keep the relationship going, and maybe your partner is also going far away, so you can just decide to meet in the middle, like you meet in a city that is close to both of you, to keep the relationship going, because I see some distance at this time, with your partner. Or maybe you could also break up with your partner at this time, but it also says that you need to use the bedroom to just calm things down. So if they start to want to break up or whatever, you could just be romantic, like in a nourishing way, in a passionate way, right? But the passion that comes with emotions, and obviously your Aquarius ascendant, it could be difficult sometimes to express those emotions, but now you need to be in touch with your emotions in order to resolve any conflict that is going to come your way or may come your way, right? So that means that you need to transform you yourself. There's some transformation that needs to be done by you, right? So it could be the way you behave, it could be the way you appear as, but there's some work that you need to do in order to resolve. If there's conflicts that they could come about, or you could also, obviously they said, compromise, meet them halfway or something like that, right? And in terms of finances, you could be at this time using the certain, if you're looking at the certain energy. Actually, this part of finances I already did in the video that I did before on the horoscope, so I'll just link that video below, which will show why certain is going to help or may help an Aquarius ascendant. So I'll link that video down below and you can watch it. For Pisces ascendant, you need to make sure you are in a harmonious accord with your in-laws this time. So maybe you could cook them some food, you cook mother-in-law, family-in-law, you could invite them to your home, or you could go to their home at this time, but there's some tendering that you need to do for your in-laws and as well for your relationship as well. So there's some sort of actions that you need, like nourishing actions that you need to balance the relationship that you have with your in-laws and the relationship that you have within your relationship, right? So do something nice, be creative about it. It could be going to the mall together, and then maybe sit at the restaurant there, but do something that will show some nourishing, but it should be around food. Definitely there must be food involved this month to amend or to fix, or to maintain the relationships that you have with your in-laws at this time. You must also be careful that you don't obviously be aggressive or overprotective with your kids. And I could see that you could want to protect. There's something that want to be involved so much with your children right now, or even with your creative endeavors, which is very good. Be there, go to their activities. Just make sure, obviously, you don't use aggression. There's no need for that, right? So just be nourishing, the nourishing mama, who goes to the concert, the school concerts, the soccer club, who's doing things with the kids, right? Because you have that energy now to be up and down, making sure that your kids' activities or anything regarding your kid is served and done, right? And of course, protection as well. You have the energy to protect your kids now, right? I also see that you could be feeling a bit friendly with your partner right now, all right? Or if you are looking for a partner, you could be pursuing somebody who is within your friendship zone, right? So you could use that energy as well. You could also use this energy to make sure you increase your finances right now. You have the energy to do so. And obviously there is some changes within your bedroom zone. So maybe you change rooms, or maybe you change something in your bedroom, maybe even the paint color or something, right? So that's also possible at this time. And if you do travel to a foreign place or a place so far, here you could meet something that will change you or change your perspective or how you see things. So just take that with spirituality, and you could make some new friends now who are foreigners to you. So these friends could be mostly males or masculine, even if it's a female, but a masculine female. And these people are actually good for you. They are they would protect you, they would be good for you, so you can take care of that. And relationship wise with your partner, you could be passionate right now. You could be trying new things, trying new bedroom bedroom styles, bedroom things, right? Which is good. You should be explorative with your partner right now. You should try new things. That's also wonderful. However, I do see that there could be some sort of loss which will be gain. It's like something that you have to spend money on, but then it will give you a return that will need to be done, but it's not for you, it's for your relationship, or it's towards your relationship, or maintaining the relationship that you have with your partner. So that's on the cards right now. Right, so that's it. I'll be in touch.